Today we're going to be looking at 1 year goals and what you guys are looking to accomplish in 1 year. And it's a great time to do that, being 2024 is around the corner. I know we're all looking to start goal setting and see what we want to accomplish in 2024 and see how does this fit, or does this even fit into your plan. It may, or it may.
Mhm.
All right, who else wants to chime in? What are you looking for in this next 5 days? Steven, how about I pick on you?
Yo, what's going on, everyone?
How's it going?
Hey, man. Yeah, so I've been in the business for several years, and really just want to get involved with the commercial side, kind of like uh, what the other two were saying. I've been doing a lot of residential sub two deals and flips myself,
Awesome.
and I've been in I've had people that like do commercial real estate and invest in it as well, and I've done like larger multifamily deals, but just to be able to benefit the other people on my network of investors, I want to just get into more into the commercial side, just to provide them more options essentially, and possibly have more options for me. So pretty curious, what to see what what you have to offer and everything, and hopefully we can all grow together. So that's my plan with this.
Yeah, and one thing that I love is networking, which is super important in
Mm,
the investing world. It's about who you know, a little bit about what you know. You should know some stuff,
yeah.
but it's about who you know and the contacts. And I think one huge thing that I love to do is how can I add value to the next person, and how can they add
Mm,
value to me. So I always teach not only value add in commercial real estate, but in
yeah.
relationships. If you can add value to other people's lives, they're going to do that in return. And it's some people just want to take and not give, but it's the ones that give back are the ones that succeed.
Yeah. It's not all about gatekeeping, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love creating community too. I think one big thing for me is continuing to create community of investors, of like-minded people, and being able to grow together, to do deals together, and to be able to network together and help each other out. So part of this too is, you guys are going to be able to meet some of the other people on the calls that are attending, and just be able to network more so in what you're looking to accomplish.
Awesome. Well,
So
thanks for having me, man.
yeah, no, appreciate you being on. So a little bit about myself. First generation American. My parents moved here from the Middle East, and it was in the late 70s. And the reason why they moved from the Middle East to America was to create a better lifestyle for their family, which includes me and my siblings. Their motivation is that they took action to give me a better future. They were small business owners of restaurants, so I grew up helping them run the restaurant since I was a little kid, which was super exciting. It was fun being able to do that, and just to grow up in that environment where they always owned a business, they always did their own thing, and that's kind of what I learned growing up. Is how do I take that mindset and kind of do my own thing, instead of essentially what I think education teaches today, which is they teach you to work for somebody. They teach you how to be an employee, and they teach you just how to follow somebody else's orders and learn to climb the ladder over 30, 40 years, and then just go into retirement and essentially die. So my goal is, how do you live that life a lot more enjoyable, a lot more free, and essentially kind of do what you want with your time and spend it wisely. Um, so my story is post college. I had a finance degree. It's what I studied in college. Me and a partner decided to start a company at the age of 24. So extremely raw. Wasn't sure if I was fully confident. It was a big risk at the time, moving cross country from Michigan to Arizona to start a company. And part of the mindset was, hey, if I'm going to work for somebody or for a company for 40 hours a week, why not work for my own company, build up my own brand, build up my own thing, and be able to make a lot more doing that than just working for a boss 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. So part of my motivation is, hey, whether this works or not, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to take the risk it takes, and possibly fail in order to achieve something that most people are not achieving. And I think that's part of the mindset is a lot of people don't like to take that initial risk because the risk comes with potential loss, potential failure. And a lot of people don't want to try something because they don't want to fail. And I think the key is you have to learn to be okay with failing. You have to be okay to learn with failure. If you're going to succeed, you're probably going to fail or stumble multiple times until you succeed. But I think the important part is able to strive to keep doing and to keep just pushing until you reach those goals. And that was part of my motivation at 24. Just again, moving cross country, starting a company, had to put a lot of pieces together in my own life in order to do that. And I just wouldn't stop. It was just, if I didn't know how to do something, if I was super raw with certain things, how to market, how to do HR, how to do payroll, how to do wear all these hats, I was going to figure it out. And you have to have that mindset of I'm going to learn how to figure it out, or I'm going to partner with people that know what I'm learning, what I'm trying to figure out to do, so that you can accomplish those goals. The good news was after a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, grinding, after 13 years, me and my partner were very successful, had a great partner, very motivated, and we were able to sell off the company. And it was a pretty nice exit. And that's a little my story where it's something I didn't know what was going to happen in the end. And today we're going to talk about the end in mind. And the funny part about it, at 24, I did not have an end in mind. I had, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, amazing. And just see where that path led. But the important part was I took a step to that path and I just kept going no matter what obstacles came ahead of me. And hopefully that can motivate you guys to do the same, whatever your goals are. I think part of the not taking action that everybody deals with, including successful people, are limited beliefs. It's the fear that I will fail, that there's no way I can accomplish that. I don't have enough money. I don't have anybody that can help me succeed. And I think limited beliefs just only hold you down in fear and don't allow you to grow and to succeed. And I think it's super important to get over those limiting beliefs. And again, everybody deals with those. Some people overcome those by just doing. So for some of you guys, just to get some interaction, what are some limiting beliefs that you guys have had or are currently experiencing with some of the goals you guys are trying to achieve? I'm gonna start picking on some people if you guys don't start chiming in. Jeremy, I'm gonna pick on you.
Chris, hope you're doing well, brother.
Doing great.
So I think one of the biggest factors is was a lack of capital, a lack of residual income, and a lack of comfortability to go in and invest into the time that it takes to get involved with a larger scale commercial project. I see it. I know it. I know it's possible to use other people's funds and to delegate work and to be a part of it. My strategic factor is to be stuck in that real estate retail, helping buyers and sellers with their projects. I'm earning some cushion room. Now that I have a little bit of cushion, I'm able to spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks taking the course, learning something new, and looking to find out where I can invest my time. And this is happy that this worked out perfect timing. So I'm looking to see where I can invest my time and learning how to scale my projects, just like you're here to educate us for.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, and Jeremy's involved in real estate as well, and I've continued seeing him grow and just pushing through hardships, pushing through just a lot of different things, and just super proud of him and to see him continue growing as well. All right. Who else? Limiting beliefs. What are some limiting beliefs that you guys have had? And if you guys have had any limiting beliefs, just hit one, press one in the chat, just so I know. We got some comments here. To understand how it all works, also being financially free. So in order to understand how it works, again, that's part of this that I'd love to share with you guys is, first of all, you have just investing in general. Second, what are you investing in? Investing into commercial real estate. We're going to go through that. So if you stick with me for the next 5 days, we will go through a deeper understanding of commercial real estate. Also, being able to be financially free. So what is the limiting belief that you're not able to be financially free, or you don't know how to get started? I think those are all fair questions. And part of the limiting belief is that you are able to be successful. You are able to venture out and do it. If there's been millions of others that have taken that path from rags to riches and have succeeded, you just need to know they're not better than you. I'm not better than you. If I can do it, somebody else can do it. So it's just having that mindset to be motivated to do that. And again, we'll be talking about strategies. We'll be talking about different tactics on how to get started. Where to get the money? Great question. A lot of people have the limiting belief, I can't get into commercial real estate because I don't have the money. Let me tell you guys one thing. If you guys find the deal, the money will show up. If you guys come to me and say, Chris, we have this amazing deal with amazing returns. I take a look at it and I put my stamp of approval on it. I might say, here's the money. Let's get involved into this deal. So again, the biggest thing when it comes to investing is knowing how to find a deal, knowing how to invest into a deal. If you have capital, it makes it a lot easier, and you can hop into your own deals. You don't have to split off or carve off equity for a capital investor. But there's also nothing wrong with getting capital investors into deals. It actually lowers risk for you if you do bring capital into the deal. But again, you also want to protect your investors by making sure that's a right deal and you did proper underwriting. So I think where to get the money is a great question, and it's a valid question. But I want you guys to know that if you know how to find a deal, there's tons of investors out there that will partner with you if you bring that deal to them. They're just waiting for those deals to show up. All right. Having to know everything before starting. This was my problem. I wanted to make sure I knew every single thing before I started. And what I learned, and we'll talk about this too, is I just became stuck in my analysis paralysis, where I would just continue to analyze, overanalyze deals, and probably miss out on some great deals that came my way because I was too stuck just overanalyzing. But I think part of that is that was my fear or my limiting belief of, hey, I just don't know enough, or I don't know if this is even a good deal to put my money into this particular deal. So what's really helpful is just having a mentor, having a coach, having somebody who's seasoned that you can go and talk to and show that deal to and have them explain why is this a good or bad deal. And myself, I've had different mentors, different coaches, and just my biggest thing was, hey, I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck with analysis paralysis. I don't want to be stuck not knowing enough or thinking I don't know enough to be able to go and do. I want to just hit the ground running and just start going after deals and know if this is a good or bad deal. But yeah, great question there. So the question is, how did I get into real estate and why? After selling my company, I think the biggest question was, do I go and retire on a beach and drink margaritas all day, or do I go back and find something to do with my time? I think after 2 seconds of semi-retirement, I couldn't do it. So knowing that real estate is one of the best ways to continue creating wealth, to create generational wealth, and to just be able to grow and expand, I dove headfirst into it. And again, this isn't to say when I was 18, I actually started getting into real estate. I got my real estate license at 18 years old. I was the youngest realtor in the office that started doing real estate. But that's right before I started my company, and then I got busy with my company, so I didn't do too much real estate then. But I've always known real estate has been an amazing place to get into. Um, and to quote a couple people, you guys have all heard this, Andrew Carnegie, he says 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. 90%. And I think it's funny because your average homeowner who may have bought a house 10 years ago for maybe $500,000, also come 2023, all of a sudden that home tripled or quadrupled in value. And now all of a sudden that person can claim that, hey, they're a millionaire because if they sell their home today, they've built so much equity in that home that they're technically a millionaire. So I think with real estate, it's easy to become a millionaire because time just continues increasing your value. All you need is time for real estate to go up. And after 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, you realize that, hey, I just built a whole empire because I just started with one small project or one piece of real estate 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So they always say the best time to get into real estate is yesterday. We always have a fear that the best time to get into real estate is tomorrow, or to start buying things is next year, or I'm going to wait till whenever. I mean, I was waiting to spend a lot of money in real estate before COVID, knowing, hey, there's a bubble that's going to happen. The yield curve is inverted. There's all these different economic signs that show we're going to have a crash. But after COVID hit, I said, yes, this is the crash. This is the time I'm going to make, even more millions in real estate, and properties just went up because the government printed money, which nobody could have accounted for. So that's why my crystal ball shattered during COVID. And now it's just the best time to get into real estate is today. And the important thing is knowing how to vet out deals and how to underwrite those deals to make sure that, hey, if the economy goes down, you're still in a good position because you bought well. And the key thing with real estate is you make your money on the buy. When you buy the deal is when you make the money, because if you pay too much, then and the economy goes down, all of a sudden you're underneath water on your real estate investment, which nobody wants to have. But if you buy right, and even if the economy goes down, you're still doing okay. If the economy shoots up, you're doing extremely amazing. So one of the tips today is just make sure you focus on the buy and make sure you can underwrite well. All right. So we also have the quote from one of our favorite people, Donald Trump, capitalist and real estate mogul. He says, it's tangible, it's solid, it's beautiful, it's artistic from my standpoint, and I just love real estate. Donald Trump. If our former president loved real estate, I think we should love real estate too. He's made a fortune in real estate. And I think he's done great. And there's a lot of reasons why he's into it. One of them is because tax benefits. So not only does real estate create wealth, create generational wealth, it's tangible. You can feel it. It's not like investing in the stock market where you don't have a physical property that you can feel, or Bitcoin, which we're still trying to figure out what exactly is Bitcoin. you can go to a property, see it, feel it, and it's physical. So it's nice to know that it's there. But just so many advantages with real estate being with tax advantages. A lot of real estate investors don't pay taxes or pay limited taxes, including myself. I've been able to write off a lot of different things when it comes to real estate. So I think that's a huge, huge benefit that people just don't see off the top. Another question is, why am I hosting the 5-day challenge? And part of this is I've been continually asked by others, how do I invest into real estate? How do I grow my investing journey in real estate? How do I get out of my 9-to-5 rat race and live a lifestyle of my dreams and just have that freedom to just kind of do what you want, where you want, and live free? So my answer to that is I want to be able to add so much value to others around me and be able to influence and change lives through my successful experiences. There are so many opportunities out there, and I want to teach, inspire, and even partner with others in their journey. So I want to be able to see others succeed and be able to help those around them. So I just think it's really important to give back. If you're successful, if you've done great things, you want to be able to give back to others. You want to be able to partner with others, give others a chance, and just help other people grow. And I think there's just some joy in that when you can give back versus, hey, everything is just about me. All right, so let's hop into mindset. Do you guys all have your workbooks in hand? We did drop the link for the workbook. If you don't have it, go ahead and download the link, and we're going to be able to fill in the blanks in there for day one. But day one is mindset, your goals and how commercial real estate can get you there. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so mindset, your goals and how commercial real estate can get you there. So another question we talked about, well, we did talk about this already. Why are you here? What are you looking to gain? And what is your limiting beliefs? And those are the first things to tackle before we get into getting into real estate, investing, just really taking those steps. Because in order to take those steps, you have to prep your mind, prep who you are to hop out there and to just get into things. So starting with number one, we're looking at easily put together your 1-year goals. In order to create your goals in your business, you first need to start with the end in mind. So again, you need to start with the end in mind. I think it's just super important to know why you are doing what you are doing. Again, super important to know why you are doing what you are doing and to be able to start with the end in mind. So to make that a little more specific, what is your target goal? What exactly are you trying to accomplish? If you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, you're not going to accomplish anything because you don't have any goals already set up. So I want to challenge you guys to write this down on paper. So let's look at 2024 because I think this is easy to quantify being we're ready to hit the new year. So in 2024, what is your target goal? Is it, I want to make $500,000 in 2024? I want to buy one cash flowing commercial property in 2024? It might be fitness. I want to lose 20 pounds in 2024. Yes, I do. It might be, I want to read through the Bible in 1 year. That's my target goal. How do I do that in 1 year? So be specific in the goals that you're trying to accomplish in 2024. One thing that I like that has been taught is to break up your annual goals in 12-week or quarterly goals. So every 12 weeks, you want to go ahead and review, assess, and pivot if needed or continue forward on your plans. So get a goal. You have 4 quarters in a year. Write for each quarter what is your goal that you want to accomplish in that quarter. After the end of that quarter, you want to go back, review what happened, assess what happened, and sometimes you might need to pivot and change that goal and go a different direction. And if it's working, you just keep moving forward to quarter 2. So I think that's super important to be able to specify these things. All right, so number 2, determine what is producing your blank. Determine what is producing your results. Create your blank and then follow it. Create your blueprint and then follow it. So you have to find out what is the best use of my time and what will create the results that I want to achieve. Again, very important. What is the best use of my time and what will create the results I want to achieve? So you don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't think anybody on this call has joined to waste their time. And my goal is I don't waste your time. But in order to do this, you want to reverse engineer starting your goals from the end and work backwards, creating a winning blueprint. So that's why we talked about starting with the end in mind and create that blueprint to track backwards and what you have to do in order to get there. So for example, I want to make $500,000 in 2024 at the end. So what do I have to backtrack through those 12 months in order to do that? So if I want to make $40,000 or $50,000 a month, what's it going to take for me to earn that in each month, in each week, in each day? The more you can be specific, the better the plan will be. So an analogy is when you're building your plan, it's like building a building. You need to have a firm foundation if you're going to succeed. If you don't have a firm foundation for your blueprint, for your plan, it's just going to flop. It's not going to succeed. One thing that I like that comes from the Bible is the parable of the 2 builders. So in Matthew 7:24-27, Jesus says, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words out of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." So again, this is in regards to faith, believing in Jesus, but we're utilizing this analogy also in life. So when it comes to your plan, have you built your plan on the solid rock, and have you had a foundation that's built on the solid rock to sustain the bumps, to sustain the hardships so that you don't crash? And part of this is when you're in real estate, the projects are a little bit longer. So you have to be able to withstand the economy going up and down, up and down. And I think it's really wise that when you can plan ahead 12 months, even 18 months ahead, if this goes one way, I have a plan. If this goes a different way, I have a plan. So again, it's being really specific and having a blueprint and something that will not fail. And then following the blueprint. So create your blueprint and then blank, follow it. Sometimes it's hard that we create a blueprint and we get distracted and we start doing other things and rabbit trailing. I do it all the time. But what's super important is to keep coming back to that blueprint and to keep just following the plan. If you can create the plan and then just execute it, you can become successful because you have a plan that you're working on and timelines that you can follow. and things that you know, hey, I've achieved this goal, I've achieved that goal, and to continue moving forward in that direction. I think that's one of the best ways to succeed is to have that full blueprint and just be able to follow it. We just get way too distracted with so many different things going on that sometimes if that blueprint is not written down and it's not specific and it's just in our head, it doesn't work. And most importantly, you want to understand the journey from start to finish. And part of understanding that journey is to follow it and to enjoy the journey. But part of that journey, again, is learning. I mean, imagine a baby trying to just crawl out of a womb, or a small child just looking to swim before ever stepping foot in water. In the same way, you are in a journey, and in order to grow, you need to continue learning and continue being taught. I haven't finished learning yet, and I continue to be taught, and I continue to learn every single day. And I continue to teach people as well every single day. And I love it. And I love learning from others as well. So you can never get enough advice from people that are just in that same journey that you are. And again, most important part is to enjoy it. Enjoy the journey until you get to the destination. Imagine it's a fun road trip. Sometimes the road trip will have bumps, but imagine it's just a fun road trip. Enjoy the view along the way. And even more important, enjoy the people that you're on the journey with. So success is one thing, but actually enjoying that journey with other people, I feel, is just as important. If you can't enjoy the people that you're working with, that you're partnering with, that you're just learning from, then that journey is just no good. So the reason you're here today is because I sparked something in you that you want to learn as part of your journey, and I want to help you get there. All right, moving on in the workbook. So you don't want to blank by guessing your way through the process. You don't want to invest by guessing your way through the process. And you want to make sure your plan is blank, well thought out, and blank and scalable. Blank is a blank. So investing is a science. Lots of blanks here. So I'm just going to repeat that completely. You don't want to invest by guessing your way through the process. And you want to make sure your plan is well thought out and scalable. Investing is a science. So too many investors fail. Back to you guys. Why do investors fail? What are some reasons? Who wants to hop on to that one?
If I could guess, I'll say that they put their first investment, they get their first return, and instead of keeping that ball rolling, they stop. They go and they retire. They go to the beach. They go to the vacation. They don't continue. They don't continue the grind.
Yeah. So essentially, it's kind of half-hearted investing. And there's a lot of half-hearted investors that will just put their money somewhere and just pray and hope that it works. All right. Someone else said poor planning. Absolutely right, Derek. Poor planning. If you don't plan out your investments or know how to plan or how to utilize your funds properly, that's just bad planning. That's bad use of your funds, bad stewardship. And that's why you have to learn and have to know how to underwrite a deal or an investment to know if it's something that's good or successful. Guessing rather than following a plan. Yep. If you guess, I think a lot of people were guessing on investing in the stock market. So especially during COVID, people would just throw money in, and who knows what would happen. Especially when the government gave you free money, you're like, let's roll the dice in stock land and see if this works or not. So it's just funny how some people will just guess and just throw it in and see if it works or not. Another one is trusting the wrong people. Absolutely. If you trust the wrong people, you can get into the wrong deals. Um, I think one amazing saying is, let me change the view here. I think a great saying is trust but verify. Trust but verify. You can trust somebody, but you still want to verify their work. You still want to verify, is this a good deal? Is this what they say it is? That's extremely crucial. If you don't do that, you can lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you don't know how to underwrite a deal and you're just trusting somebody that is a professional, you might get into a bad deal. So one way to negate doing that is to be able to say, yes, that looks like a great deal. Let me go ahead and take a look at it and verify that it is a good deal. But the only way to do that is for yourself to know how to figure out, is this a good deal, which is through proper underwriting. All right, Steven.
This is a juicy one. And even being in the business for, as long as I have, and as long as you have too, this comes back to bite you sometimes, but getting married to bad deals.
Yep.
You do the underwriting and the numbers are too tight, but for whatever reason you really like the property or like the deal, and then you go through with it. Next thing you know, down the road, the numbers don't pan out like they were supposed to. And because you're already so tight on the spread to begin with, you end up losing money on the deal. You got money tied up. There's holding costs that's eating you alive. And it's something that, a lot of people got to look out for. So, like my new rule is if I don't have like X amount of spread, if I don't have like, a solid 100K cushion, depending on which property. I mean, commercial, we're talking about a lot larger spread. But just for like residential, if it's a $200,000 property or a $300,000 property and I'm not getting it for, 150, 160, I'm not even looking at it because it's just, I've been burned too many times on bad deals. So don't get married to a bad deal. You don't have to go through with it. Just cancel that contract and run as fast as you can.
Yep. No, that's absolutely right, Stephen. Getting married to a bad deal is like getting married to a bad wife. You don't want it. Run away. But yeah, I think a lot of times we get emotionally attached to a certain deal or to a certain property, and even though that property isn't, it's got really tight numbers, we're just so emotionally invested into it that we don't really care, and just logic falls out. So I completely agree with you. Don't have emotional buys in real estate. Don't get emotionally attached to the property if the numbers don't pan out accurate. So you do want to leave a lot of room. And again, the same way you're looking to buy in residential, I'm looking to buy in commercial and have larger spreads and make sure that I'm purchasing and I'm buying right. And those numbers in my buy box will be just really juicy numbers. If the lemon isn't worth the squeeze, don't squeeze it. So again, too many investors fail. So when I sold my company, I had lots of liquid funds. I did not want to fail. I don't want to take all those years that I grinded, that I worked extremely hard to just go down in the dumps and have to start over. So in my earlier journey, I would just, again, learn as much as possible. I went through complete analysis paralysis until I can get a grasp of a deal that I would say yes to. And one thing we need to understand is we're going to say no to 100 deals before we say yes to one deal. And I think a lot of people think that that's crazy. But if you're a seasoned investor, if you actually know what you're doing, you understand that there's going to be tons of deals that are going to come across the desk. You have to know the right ones to say yes to. And that could be 1% of the deals that show up on your desk. So my goal was to underwrite hundreds of deals until I was able to underwrite properly. And in the beginning, I feel like I took weeks, depending on the deal, to look at it, to underwrite it, to ask questions, to get a feel for it. But my goal was I want to be able to look at a deal and within 10 minutes know, hey, this is worth looking at further, or this is a good deal or a bad deal. And I think with the right information, you can underwrite a deal extremely fast if you start knowing how to underwrite, what to look for. And again, it takes a little repetition to do that. But if you don't do that repetition, you're never going to learn how to underwrite fast and properly. So through learning to underwrite properly, in the past few years, I've over 3x my net worth, made millions additional so far, just being able to know how to underwrite deals properly. Again, if you don't underwrite, you're going to end up losing, not winning. So I think it's crucial. I won't say it more times, just enough times that you have to learn to underwrite deals. It's one of the most important skill you can have as a real estate investor. All right, so moving along. We only got 10 minutes left. We gotta wrap up here. You don't. We went over. You don't want to invest by guessing your way through the process. So I mentioned that investing is a science, and having the right buy box, having the right spreads, it is a science. But once you have that science down, you have that formula down, you know what you're looking for in a deal, and you know what deals to say yes to. So why commercial real estate? I think there's just so many reasons why I love getting into more commercial real estate deals than residential deals. I think when I first started, everybody learns off the top. They watch HGTV, they see home flippers, and everybody wants to be a home flipper all of a sudden. So you have just tons of competition in the space. Also, your profit margins dwindle down a lot compared to investing into commercial real estate. So as I continue to learn, as I continue to grow, I did some flips. I saw that, hey, this is the profit margin on a flip. Looking at different types of commercial properties, I saw that margin was a lot bigger. And that's where I just moved quickly and pivoted. And part of it was pivoting my plan from residential to commercial for those larger spreads. So number one here, with commercial real estate, you can grow bigger and reduce risk through blank of blank, through economies of scale. So again, I'll repeat that. With commercial real estate, you can grow bigger and reduce risk through economies of scale. So I wanted to do more in a smaller amount of time. I wanted to make more doing less work. I would rather do one large deal than 10 small deals. And that was one of the benefit with commercial real estate, is you're actually able to do that and 10x your margins. Also, number two, it takes the same amount of time with less competition to find a commercial real estate deal versus a residential real estate deal. So again, on your workbooks, it takes the same amount of time with less competition to find a commercial real estate deal versus a residential real estate deal. You have tons of people looking for residential deals all the time. You don't have as many that are in commercial real estate for certain reasons. Either they think it's a little too complex, they never got into it, they don't feel like they have the funds to get into commercial real estate. Whatever that reason is, again, limiting beliefs. There's a lot less people in commercial real estate. So less investors in commercial real estate versus residential means less competition. And then number three, let's fill in the blanks here. The profit margins are 10 to 100x higher than traditional residential flips. Again, if you buy right, the profits are 10x to 100x higher than traditional residential flips. With residential real estate, your sales price are limited and determined by local comparables. So for example, if I take my home, the value of my home is based off of my neighbor's homes and what sold in the last 6 months. I can't increase the price of my home more than that. Even through a ton of improvements, there's only so much of a limit you can hit with comparables. The amazing thing with commercial real estate is that your sales price is determined by your NOI, which is your net operating income, your bottom line, which you can increase the revenue in multiple ways, which means you can be much more creative in how you add value to your property and get top dollar. So this is something else we'll be talking about, is different ways to add revenue to increase the value of your commercial property. So with residential, you can't do that. With commercial, you can do that, and you can be a lot more creative and create a lot more value in your property. So with all that being said, this is why I think commercial real estate outperforms residential real estate when you want to do less deals and make more and have more time. Again, can you make a lot of money in residential deals? Of course you can. But my preference is to do bigger deals in smaller amounts of time, do less deals, and to make more. All right. So I am going to go into the day one homework. Before we end off for today. So these are things that I want you to actually go back and be able to answer for yourself. And this is going to kind of go in line with, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish in 2024? How are you going to accomplish those goals? And starting to get specific with attaining those. So the first question is, what goals do I ultimately want to achieve in the next year, and how will it affect my life? So if you achieve that goal, how will that goal affect your life? How will making an additional $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 affect your life if you accomplish that in 2024? Next question is, what is your biggest challenge in getting started with these goals today? What is your biggest challenge in getting started with these goals today? Why are you not starting today? What is holding you back? Next question is, who can help me achieve these goals, and what is the best way for me to get started? Who can help me achieve these goals, and what is the best way for me to get started? And on day 4, I'm going to start sharing with you guys different ways that you can partner with me to obtain these goals, and how we can work together in order to do this. All right, the next question is going to be, who can I help by achieving these goals? So if you do achieve your 2024 goals, who are people around you that you can help because you took the next step and you took action? Is it your family members? Is it friends? Is it your kids, your wife? So what ways are you able to help others by achieving your goals? And I think that's really important, not to just think of yourself, but to think of those around you. By when I succeed, who am I going to help around me? And the last question for day 1 homework is going to be, how many hours per week can I spend to work on achieving these goals? How many hours a week am I willing to commit in order to achieve these goals? So it could be 5 hours, 10 hours, 40 hours. You can go all in and spend all of your time to achieve these goals like I did. But everyone is limited in different ways. So how much time can you realistically spend per week to achieve these goals and build that blueprint around that time frame? All right, with that said, we have a few minutes left. Let's take do a little Q&A for a few minutes and see if I can answer anybody's questions. Or let me know how this has helped you so far today, by how I was able to add value to you guys.
Chris, maybe you can talk a little bit about understanding mindset and how your mindset will help develop your personality when seeking partnerships. How do you come across when you're seeking a partnership? Would you come off looking as a desperate learner, or or as somebody who has knowledge and skills?
Yeah, I think there's different ways to approach that. First question was just mindset. I think part of the mindset is being able to take the steps to move forward. And sometimes when you're investing into deals, again, this I want to be able to teach you how to find your own deals, but there's a lot of times where you might be investing into other deals, which I'm happy to talk about. But it's first taking that step, saying, "Hey, I am going to invest into either myself, my own deal, or somebody else's deal," and that's just step one. Writing that down. I'm doing that. Step two is, okay, who do I want to invest with, or do I want to go and find my own deal this next year? And that's, I'm going to invest in myself into my own deal, and making that decision, which direction you want to go. And then, the third is, okay, how do I know I can, either trust or have credibility with people that I work with? And I think that's really important, whether it's through references, whether it's just seeing what their past history is, talking to people that know that person. It's really important to know if it's a credible person that you're working with or talking to. And then also just learning and understanding what you're investing in and looking at what return am I looking at getting, what's the duration those funds are going to be utilized for. So whether, even if in my own deals, if I'm putting $1 million into a project, I'm saying, okay, that $1 million is going to be taken up. And like we said before, if you get married into the wrong deal, that $1 million is going to be stuck there until you can get out of that deal, which could take 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. So knowing that when you get married to an investment, to a deal, you have to be okay with those funds sitting into that deal and have an expectation of how long those will sit there until you have an exit plan, or there is an exit plan to get out of that deal, which we will talk about exit plans as well. Let me know if that answers your question, Jeremy.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. What other questions do we have?
Chris, can you tell us about any current projects that you're working on?
Yeah, actually, I have several different projects. So I'm currently doing projects in Arizona, in Florida, in Texas, and in Colorado. I have something going on in Michigan. So I'm kind of nationwide right now doing different projects. There's a self-storage deal that me and some partners are working on. I'm actually going to share that deal because I believe that was a unicorn deal, an amazing deal that we were able to find. And hopefully it'll motivate you guys to find that same type of deal. But we're doing a rehab to a self-storage facility in South Florida. So we got into that deal about last year and just working on rehabbing that from storm damage. I'll share more with that in one of the other days. I'm into multifamily as well. So we have a student housing deal right now in Boulder, Colorado that I'm involved in. And we purchased that a couple years back. We did rehab. We've been cash flow positive, leasing that out. And we are selling that and should hopefully close this month. And that's a multi-million-dollar deal. So really excited to get that closed out before the end of the year. Doing some land development in Arizona, working on rezoning some land over here from residential to industrial. So that's going to be more flex warehouse space. So those are just a few things that I'm currently busy with right now.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, quick question.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I know you said something about buy boxes for these, for the guys to be buying the commercial properties, or buy boxes for acquiring them. Do you have one that you are going to share with us before the end of the 5 days, like for when we're partnering up on deals and stuff that we should be looking for?
Yeah. I'm gonna be doing that on day 2. So day 2 is day 2 is gonna be what's the ideal value add commercial real estate look like, and what asset classes to target that are most recession proof.
Okay.
So
Cool. Yeah, it's funny you were talking about that self-storage product you got there, because I got a couple guys in Jacksonville. We've been looking at some projects here in Florida as well, so that's really cool. Kind of got me excited.
Yeah, no, actually, I have some projects going on in Jacksonville as well in North Florida. But yeah, I'll be sharing that tomorrow. I guess I gave some of it away already.
There you go. Thanks, man. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and close off for today. That's your hour for data for today. I hope that added some value. I hope content was good, and would love some feedback. For the homework, I would love for you guys to be involved, and then post your answers on the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, go ahead and join it. We'll drop the link for that. If you guys want to hop on, the VIP, we have another hour for the VIP call where we'll have Q&A. We'll just talk a little more personal and one-on-one. If you guys want to join, the link for the VIP is in the chat. And we also have the Facebook group link also in the chat. So looking forward to the VIP call next, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So don't forget to do the homework and post your comments in the Facebook group. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it, brother.
Got
Thank you, man. Cheers from Michigan, everybody.